Welcome to the Roundup Podcast with your host, Bonnie Pipola, and our special guest,
Daniel Kim.
Welcome to the show, Daniel. We have a pretty interesting story today. Are you ready?
I hope so.
This story comes out of Florida. This teacher says that she was fired for giving zeros to students who did not turn in their work.
Wait,
Yes. You did not. Yes.
did I hear that correctly?
Yeah.
So she got fired for giving out zeros. Isn't that what a teacher's supposed to do if a student doesn't do work?
Well, apparently, according to the Westgate School District, K through 8 in Florida, apparently it's a policy to where you're only supposed to give 50s as the minimum if that student does not turn in their work.
So you're saying that if I went to that school, I could show up to none of the classes and still get a minimum of 50.
Yes, you're halfway there.
God dang it.
You're already halfway there. So she was essentially fired for that. She refused to follow that policy. She felt that it would hurt her educational integrity, like the fact that the reason why she was teaching was to improve students' performance. And if she couldn't give zeros to those students who were struggling, there was really no point, in her opinion.
In this case, I am fully on the teacher's side. Because if I was a student going to that school and I heard that policy that if I didn't show up to school or that class and still ended up getting a 50 on an assignment I didn't do, then that would affect me the rest of my high school or middle school. What you say, K through 8, right?
Yes, this is K through 8.
So elementary and middle school.
Right.
And then that would lead on to high school and college life, saying, oh, I don't have to do work, but I'll still get credit for something.
Even just after college, even after education, it's like, well, I'm not going to, like, I'll work a couple of hours and get full-time pay or something. Like, it doesn't really work that way.
Yeah.
Unless if you're some genius.
And the teacher, she says she's doing this job to help other students, not for the pay. I know that pay for teachers is super low.
Right.
So she's in her mind, she's doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I fully agree with that. There's a big fault in that system, and I'm very baffled by what happened to her.
Right. And this story actually became viral after she made a post on Facebook. Originally, what she did was she wrote a goodbye message, and this is what it reads: "Bye, kids. Mrs. Tirado loves you and wishes you the best in life!" Exclamation point. You know, just to emphasize. I've been fired for refusing to give you a 50% for not handing in anything. Love emoji, Mrs. Tirado. And this became extremely viral. 1.3 thousand likes, 70 comments, 3,000 shares. Like this, I mean, in school, like when I was in elementary school and high school or middle school, like I don't think there was any type of policy like that where you have to give a minimum grade even if you don't turn in work.
I've never heard of that.
And I mean, it makes it easier for the teachers if it's like
it
a zero.
does.
It's only one digit instead of 3.
No, but I just feel like there's just that big fault in just it's going to make students lazy.
Yeah, well, that's the lesson it teaches. Where you don't do your hardest and you get like, or you just don't even do it at all.
And
like,
you still get credit for it. So
right.
This is, I'm just.
You're just baffled.
Yeah, I really can't say anything else.
Yeah, I mean, again, like it. I don't know what type of lesson it really teaches to these students. Like, hey, kids, like just get a 50 on this. Just for showing up or something. It's like the old system for the SAT. I think, don't you get points just for like writing your name on it?
Yeah, you do. I mean, I get it. Since it's K through 8, it's the grades during that time don't really matter.
Right.
But still, you need to create a strong foundation for those students, so they can strive in the future.
Right. And I wonder, maybe the administration has this like maybe this motivational aspect. Like, oh, if you have a 0. Like, do you automatically like fail the class? Like, does this give a? I'm trying to think from their school's perspective. Maybe if you get a 0, does that demotivate you for the rest of the semester or rest of the grading quarter or whatever they do it over there? So.
I honestly think that's dependent on every student.
Right.
Like personally, for me, if that policy applied to me, I wouldn't be doing any work, or I would be doing the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And then I'd still get some credit for that. So So that just make me lazier. But some other students,
Because you're trying to strive for the like 70%, and instead of working towards getting that whole 70%, if you get
Yeah.
a 0, you only need the 20%.
yeah. So it's like, why put in more work for something and to reach a goal when you can put in less work and reach that same goal?
Right.
I mean,
right.
that's my perspective. But other students, they could have been like, they could have seen those zeros they've gotten and be like, oh, I really can't fix this. So why even try?
So this is just a long con to teach
Yeah.
efficiency.
I mean,
Let's just try to assume that's what the administrators, jokingly, is trying to
Yeah.
justify this. But yeah,
I see the faults and I see I see the good sides, the
Right.
upsides to this, but
part of it's also the pressure to like pass kids, because I'm sure a lot of
right.
schools like they get judged based on like.
don't teachers also get paid by how?
I think that's how some districts do,
Some
because I
districts,
think
right?
this could be a private school. I'm not sure,
Mm.
but yeah, that's maybe there's some pressure like even from the state funding like
Oh, you're
wise.
right,
Like,
'cause-
does the state get more intervention if like you see Sally or like let's say 20% of the kids failing
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
this school, who may be having like a 90% success rate, but you don't understand is that you get an automatic 50 even if you don't turn in work. So
It's all about the money.
Basically.
in the end, everything ties into money. I think I've had that problem in my middle school too. How I've overheard a few teachers saying, "Oh, I need to raise the grades of these students, or our school won't get this amount of funding."
right.
So yeah,
It's like another like layer of stress. Like teachers,
is.
they have to like grade outside of like hours. I mean, their planning period doesn't like cover enough time.
no,
Like
it
they,
doesn't.
like, yeah. I mean, it's a second job you're carrying even after you leave the actual school. So
That's true. That's true.
yeah. Well, thank you all for listening to our podcast. I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to hit the follow, subscribe button, like us on Instagram, Twitter, whatever social media we have. Hope to see you all soon. Thank you.
See ya.